Brought to you by Fidelity Bank. For all your banking needs, visit fidelitygroup.com. Fidelity, we're good for you.
Also brought to you by greenturtle.ky. Take a ride on the Green Turtle Express today. Download the Green Turtle app. The future of mobile. Saving lives today.
Oh, I think they're doing a great job. A lot of them are.
Good afternoon, Dwayne. How are you?
Not too bad, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Radio Cayman's Talk Today with Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
But I do have some questions.
There are more questions than answers.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today.
If you're ready to talk, we're willing to listen.
Well, I really enjoy this program today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
May God bless every person.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. Hopefully, you're enjoying the week so far. It's been very positive and productive, and we want to invite you to be a part of a conversation. We'll start things off with our excellent friends from DCFS talking about the foster care program. 1 o'clock onwards, we'll have some open line, and we invite you to call and share and shine. So stay tuned for Talk Today.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today, the Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program. We ask our listeners to avoid statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use any indecent language or make any statement which is false or misleading. Email talktoday@candw.ky or call 1-800-534-8255.
Courtesy of Flow.
Cayman's #1 network that connects you to your world like never before.
Let your voice be heard. Once again, here's your host, Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome. Thank you so much for joining us as we're honored once again to continue our partnership with our respective government agencies and as we welcome our friends from the Department of Children and Family Services to focus on the foster care program and invite you to consider, being a part of the foster care initiative, to thank those who over the years have lent their support. We're honored to welcome a senior social worker, Ms. Lois Webb, together with her colleague, Ms. Marjorie Whitaker. Ladies, good afternoon. Thank you for joining us. Ms. Lois, how are you, ma'am?
I'm pretty good, actually. Thank you very much.
All right. Ms. Marjorie, buenas tardes. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How are you doing?
I'm very thankful. I'm actually, trying to remind myself the beauty of laughter and love, of joy and jubilation, and things are good and getting better, right?
Definitely.
Definitely. I was honored earlier to have a conversation with someone who had shared with me just by chance. I don't think necessarily by coincidence. They're not originally from here, been here for a short time in essence, and had said, that early in their lives they got, no, they didn't call it foster care, it was something else that they referred it, and after a while I realized that there's the same thing. They were sort of living between homes, as it were, in a family home of sort, but had this extended sort of home life where these individuals provided, much needed support. And when the person got to a certain age in adolescence, started spending more time and, living with the family, and sort of a unofficial quasi sort of foster care initiative. And now he volunteers and he says if it wasn't for that relationship with that family, he would probably be worried as to where he would be today if even alive. And he said it wasn't that his own sort of maternal or paternal or blood relations were necessarily bad. It's just that they didn't have the resources or the wherewithal. So as we talk about foster care today, Miss Lois, we've got a lot to be thankful for.
Yes, we do. In regards to what you said, it is that in the past, the Cayman community has, basically taken care of their own families and neighbors, provided valuable care for them when they were in need. And it's just now becoming more of a formal, more than informal, where you get court involvement and social workers involved. So, that is something that to be appreciative of in the past and even bring it forward today.
Yeah. Well, it's something that, maybe I can ask. I mean, maybe many of us probably don't necessarily appreciate it, but from the perspective of foster care, whether formal or otherwise,
Hmm.
how long roughly you think we've maybe the last? Because some of us, Kemanula has a history, since Ivan. For some of us, we go back 500 years. So, not sure how long decades we're talking. You think relative to foster care
Um, in regards to how long foster care has been around,
in Cayman? Yeah.
yeah. Well, it has, like I said, it has been around for decades, just informally, more so than formally
Mm.
now. Yeah, and the thing is that even though, like you said, people were doing it, the first you were speaking of earlier, even though people were doing it, they had no idea that they were actually doing fostering. And now
Mm-hmm.
they just put a title to it, basically. So you're basically caring for someone else who's not in your family, but at the same time, you see a need, you see a child that has a need, and you just jump in and you take care of that child.
Yeah. Yeah. That's it. No, from that perspective, Miss Marjorie, I mean, it's often said that it really takes a lot of love to love someone else's child as your own. That to me seems a very particular thing, to have that sort of capacity within us as people, sometimes seeing how we are otherwise. So commend the people who have that and who demonstrate it and who, as Miss Lois indicated, share that so willingly. From your perspective, Miss Marjorie, I mean, foster care and what it would take to be a foster parent.
Definitely, first of all, you just have to have the willingness to be able to take on someone else's child. I mean, whether it's blood relative to you or may not be related to you at all, but you have to have that willingness to do it. You also have to be, empathetic. You need to be able to have patience, to be flexible, adaptable, because the reality is that once you bring a child into your house, there will be a lot of changes into your house, especially if
Mm-hmm.
you're not used to having children at home, or maybe your children are older and you have forgotten a bit of how it is, to that fast-paced life of having a child at home. So you have to be able to be adaptable. You have to have humor as well, because children bring you a lot of joy. They bring you a lot of laughter, and there are a lot of times that you're gonna have to laugh about what's going on. You have to have
Mm-hmm.
good listening skills, because some of them really want to be listened to. They want to be heard and willing to work with other
Yeah.
people.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Hmm.
If I then could ask, maybe for those who listen, we talk about foster care, and certainly please share with us, because many times we take so much for granted and we may assume that, well, I need to have a PhD in child development psychology to be a parent. Maybe we probably should, but um, even though we've mentioned just in passing the sort of informal nature of what we had here for years, uh, officially informal, what is foster care? I mean, what do we mean by that?
Well,
Well,
go ahead, Marjorie.
no, you can go ahead. That's fine.
My
Foster care,
apologies to the both of you.
that's all right. That's okay.
I'm so used to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Foster care is, it's a place where it's a place where safe and nurturing environment for a child. Um, it is what they would have otherwise not have gotten wherever they were for whatever circumstances they were in at the time. It is a place where they can go and basically be in an environment that's nurturing, helping them to grow, helping them to learn, giving them all the things that they would need to, be that person that they hope to be as they get older.
Mhm. Well, maybe then I can ask you just to clarify, at least for my benefit, if it doesn't help anybody else. Yeah, sort of,
Hmm.
I appreciate it for my own edification. We were talking at the outset about the sort of informal nature that used to exist here in the Cayman context. Then is foster care a formal sort of program, um, is, administered, if it is through the courts, or is it a formal program through the courts and or through your agency, or is it still sometimes an informal system? How does it operate here, foster care
Yeah.
specifically?
Well, foster care specifically, I mean, you do still have informal fostering that we may not we really don't know about, because it's someone
Mm-hmm.
just taking the child that they see a need there. Now, the
Mm-hmm.
formal part of foster care is when they actually, referral comes into MASH, so to speak, and then it goes from there, depending on the nature of it. we provide foster care for that child. In the meantime, whatever is happening with the parents or the caregiver, they get time, a chance to work on whatever needs to be rectified in the household. And during that time, a child is placed in foster care through the court, if need be. Yeah.
All right. As we go to the break, just again, if it's a redundant question, but let me ask it. If DCFS is involved in a child's life in relation to foster care, does that automatically mean that the courts also are involved, or can it be independent of the courts and just DCFS, as we know, of DCFS?
Yeah. Well, we do have involuntary, voluntary care. It's not really foster care, but it's when we step in when a parent or someone's on the household that this parent just needs a little bit of help doing something, but for whatever reason they can't take care of their child at the moment. So if you voluntarily, instead of us actually coming in, depending on the situation that is, if there's abuse involved, of course, then it's through the court formally. But if not, then they do have voluntary where you can say, hey, you know what, I do need a little help. I'm overwhelmed, and we will try to assist in whatever way that we can.
Okay. Well, respectfully, when we come back from the break, could we ask again, you started to mention, maybe ask it, expound a little further. Both you and Ms. Marjorie, we invite you to share with us, why are children placed in foster care? Can we talk about the sort of qualities and/or qualifications that you were looking for in relation to foster parent? Could we equally maybe ask, single married, how old you have to be to offer yourself to foster? What about the age of the children? I love statistics, so if you have any other kind of demographics other than ages, please feel free to share. Bunch of questions that could be asked of you and maybe get some information.
Sure.
All right. Perfect. To our listeners, going to pause and take a break. When we come back, we'll continue as we invite you to consider strongly, open up your hearts and your homes and be, a foster parent. That next child, could be the leader of the world who makes the biggest difference, all because of your influence. You just never know. So stay tuned for Talk Today.
Fidelity Bank would like to thank all essential workers. We salute your efforts and thank you for the sacrifices you've made to keep us all safe. During these challenging times we're facing, our top priority is the health and safety of the communities we serve. And while it's true that things are changing rapidly every day, one thing that will never change is our commitment to giving you the best and sound financial solutions to help you during and after the coronavirus pandemic. At Fidelity Bank, our focus will always be you. Fidelity, we're good for you.
We are here for you. Whether you are in extreme financial need, have lost your job, have been directly or indirectly affected by the pandemic, we are here. The Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan is here to assist through the Cayman Islands Government Emergency Withdrawal Program. To withdraw, visit chamberpension.ky and complete the online application form by filling in your personal details, the amount you wish to withdraw, and upload a notarized government ID such as your passport or driver's license. For information as it happens, visit chamberpension.ky or follow our social media pages on Facebook, LinkedIn, or Instagram. Email admin@pensions.ky or call 745-7630. We thank you for your patience as we address the high volume of email and phone queries. The Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan. You can count on us.
Green Turtle. Modern solutions to get you through the new normal. Download the Green Turtle app now and top up yours or a loved one's phone with any mobile carrier in any destination. Home delivery of laptops, tablets, phones, accessories, and iTunes and major online retailer gift cards. And now, home deliveries of groceries and courier service. Guaranteed delivery within 2 hours from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Visit their list of products at greenturtle.ky or download the Green Turtle app today. Green Turtle is not only the future of mobile, but today it can help save a life. Take a ride on the Green Turtle Express today. Download the Green Turtle app, the future of mobile, saving lives today.
Stop the spread of coronavirus by washing your hands with soap frequently. If none is available, use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer. Stay at home whenever you can. Avoid close contact with people outside your household by staying a minimum of 6 feet apart and wear a mask while in public. For more information, go to www.gov.ky/coronavirus.
Talk today. but I do have some questions.
Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back. Thank you for joining us. And again, thanks to both Ms. Lois Wibb, Ms. Marjorie Whitaker, social workers over at the Department of Children and Family Services, part of the foster care team, for joining us there. I guess I should say the adoption and foster care team, so that we can, because there's a difference between adoption and foster care, right, ladies?
Correct.
All right, but thank you again, and please guide me. Again, I say, I'm so used to being able to see our guests and through the body language we communicate. But I'm talking to you. No, I'm talking to you. So you have to pretend I'm seeing you, okay?
Exactly.
There you go.
If I may expand a little bit prior before we took a break on the volunteer placement.
Mhm.
Remember now the volunteer placement. We tend to have situations where the child, there may be some DCFS protection concerns, and that we're trying to work with the family outside of a court order, right? It's not childcare, because, like, for instances where a parent may need to be hospitalized for a certain amount of time, for instances like that is where the volunteer part comes in, where you as a parent say, I need assistance, I have no one to turn to, but I'm having surgery or whatever the case may be, and I just need someone to keep my children safe for a specific amount of time. It has a start and an end date, so yeah.
Okay. Well, certainly appreciate that. And as you said that too, respectful, I'm thinking of the aunts in particular in our society, when their sisters or their brothers are in need, medically or something else, they step in to assist. You don't even think about it, that child, you may not be uh, one of the siblings with children, or you may already have, a million more. Well, it's another mouth to feed, right? You just love them.
Yeah, exactly.
So beautiful, man. I tell you, children, they're a treasure and a blessing. Now,
Yep, yeah.
so when you're looking at it from then that perspective, in terms of as you share of why they're there, but equally being a foster parent, eligibility criteria, the requirements, married, single. I mean, you and Miss Wilco, share with us. I mean, what sort of things are we looking at?
Okay, so we are looking for someone who is between the ages of 25 to 60. You do
Okay.
not have to be married to be a foster parent. You can be single as long as you have the space in your house to be able to provide it for a child. We also accept persons that may have disabilities or medical conditions, as long as it doesn't prevent you from providing proper care for a child. You do not have to be a Caymanian to be a foster parent. We accept permanent resident holders, work permit holders, as long as you have, again, the space for a child in your house.
Okay. So I can imagine them. Okay. And in that space, then would you're someone who has, the biggest heart, but someone living in a very small space, or one bedroom, loft-like space, no separate bedroom for the foster child. Probably that may be one of a major qualifying factors to consider.
Correct. I mean, even if you have like a one bedroom, depending on the age of the child, say it's an infant, a baby, then you won't
Right.
need a separate room for a baby, So, as like you say, as your interest grows in foster care and you think, oh, you know what, I want to start to foster older children, then you have to look at your space.
hmm
Yeah.
Income, education, those things, do they play a role, and to what extent?
Income and education, you mean to become a foster parent?
Yes, yes.
As you you go through an assessment process, and as long as you can show that you are able to care for a child, because the thing is, it's not a job, right? So you wouldn't get paid for it. you know.
Should be, yeah.
So yeah, right. I mean, we
Being a
do.
parent.
I mean, we do assist with services such as cynical insurance, providing for school uniforms, school lunches, those types of things. You know, so in any event, to say that, education wise, like I said, you just have to have a big heart and an open home and a loving home, to take children
Hmm.
in. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no
And
education. Yeah.
yeah.
So
And Ms. Whitaker,
we don't
if you,
require you to have a degree for you to
yeah.
be able to open your house for a child. I mean, as long as you have the willingness to do it and the willingness to go through an assessment done by the Department of Children and Family Services as well.
Hmm. And I think that's something when I looked at education, that we try to get people to understand that you're being a parent, you're being probably that difference between that particular child's, not only development, stability now, but what that child's potential and achievement and attainment 10, 20, 30 years from now. You probably the difference between what a child is and what a child becomes,
Correct.
For foster care, again, as much information as you wish to share and able to, the age range of those that we're looking for in a system, any other, I call it, demographic information, but whatever the information that you can, we don't have all that some jurisdictions, but share what you can. What sort of age range are we looking at that can be fostered?
We have, go ahead, Luz.
I'd say the age range for children to be fostered usually starts from 0 to we'd say 18, but come 18 they're an adult, so it would be 0 to 17 plus, going on 18, because
Hmm.
at 18 they're considered an adult. But right now, the types of foster parents that are looking for these children, some are most teenagers. We find that sometimes teenagers are just a bit more, um, not harder, but I guess because some foster parents haven't fostered children before and they don't
Hmm.
know what to expect, so they're a bit nervous.
Hmm.
But like you tell them, social workers are there to walk with you every step of the way. Right now, to see that we need foster parents for teenagers and also special needs children. The needs of some of our special needs children, they usually range from like I wouldn't even say that it's mild. It's low to
Hmm.
mild, the need of the child that we would place for the foster parent, because like we said before, some foster parents are new to taking care of children overall, and they may be
Hmm.
nervous, they may be afraid. Some don't want infants because they wouldn't know what to do with them, they say, but
Who
in
does,
those
right?
instances, yeah, they're like crying, and I don't know what to do, I don't know what's wrong with her, help me,
Yeah.
so in that instance, it's we're there to help, regardless of what it is. You can call us
Mm.
24/7, and we're there to hold your hand and walk you through the process with that, depending on whatever child you get placed in your home. Yeah.
Hmm.
And just to add to that, Mr. Dwayne, we also
Mm.
have different types of foster parents or fostering. We have what is called a respite care, where
Hmm.
it's a short-term fostering where maybe the current foster parent needs to travel and is unable to take the child, or they may just need a break, and then the respite care foster parent will take over for maybe the weekend or a week um, to help out.
Hmm.
We also
Hmm.
have emergency foster care where usually it's where a child needs immediate placement. Usually for that there's little notice. We also have short-term foster care and we have long-term foster care, because the reality is that we don't really know how long a child can be in foster care, but some persons may not be willing to do it for the long term, and that's okay. As long as you have that conversation with the social worker, then we
Hmm.
can work out the logistics of it.
If I could then, based on what you just shared and reflecting on the conversation I had earlier, in particular, Mr. Lois, you talked about insurance coverage and I guess I call the younger adolescent, or the one that is nearing 17, 18, and 19. In the Cayman context, let's say you have someone who is fostering a young adult, gets them into, continuing education. They're at 18, 19, 20. They know an adult, legally, this person is in his or her own independent, adult.
Right.
But I was just thinking back to the
And
young man who. Yes, ma'am.
yeah, in that instance, we do have what we call aftercare, right?
Hmm.
Aftercare is usually when a child turns 18 and they age out, so to speak, out of foster care. And they have a
Hmm.
goal in mind. We try to help them prepare for their future because usually, if they're not adopted by that time, then they do need to, in the process leading up to 18, learn some independence, right?
Hmm.
Within that, we do offer them in aftercare um, basically the same kind of thing that they would have if they were in foster care, housing. They do the requirements for that. They do have to be attending school and or having employment. All right.
Hmm.
Um, and with that, we do try to encourage them to go to college and get, a type of skill or at least a 2-year degree in which we would assist in helping them get to that point. Because we
Hmm.
do want to help them to have a foundation for when they actually have to go out into the real world, so to speak, to take care of themselves. And it is beneficial for them to go into that program after foster care. Not all kids look forward to going into it because I feel that some of them feel that, oh, somebody's still gonna be telling me what to do. It's like, no, we're just trying to guide you to be able to take care of yourself when you get to a certain point in life. So
Uh,
with that, yeah.
all right.
But we do assist
Well,
them with that.
yeah. You know what? They'll be appreciated after. And as we go to our break, could we ask this other question? Because you just referenced something that maybe I think some of us may have a perception that the foster care puts us in this sort of intermediate space between the child and their families, their biological families, their biological parents in particular. What is the requirement, if any, for the foster parent to interact with the biological parents, or in any which way come in contact? If is that how does that work? Is it uh, a need for that interaction? What can you share to help us understand that better?
Mhm. Um, when it comes to the biological parents, when children are placed in care, the object is not to keep them in care. The object is basically to reintegrate them back into the home in a safe environment, right?
Mm-hmm.
The
Mm-hmm.
thing is that foster parents, when they become involved, we tend to not want them to be so much involved with the biological parents, depending on the situation. But at the end of the day, it is the foster parent to choose if they wish to assist to help that parent and that child keep that bond. If not, then the social worker is the one then who will be like the person, the go between then, so to speak, to keep the line of communication open with the biological parent and the child. The foster parent is also there for support in any event, because sometimes say the child goes home and it didn't work out for a visit, didn't work out the way they hoped, and the child comes back to the foster parent with a lot of pent up, maybe anxiety, anger, all these different things. The foster parent is there to help them maneuver through those, through those emotions and whatever circumstances they were put in prior to going to visit to the parent, the biological parent.
Okay. All right. So after a break, then could we maybe ask a couple other questions and hopefully, respectfully, perhaps encourage some others to consider, getting involved. Maybe ask you to share information on how they can, if they so choose. But could we
Definitely.
ask, like, taking children on vacation? If you foster a child, can they come with you? Is there a limit on the number of children a person or a couple, can foster at a time? And maybe from what you shared, you have young, you have an adolescent. Are there types of foster parents that you're looking for now, or age groups? Maybe you could ask a couple of those questions and get some more information as well. All right.
Sure.
Okay. Perfect. Let's pause and take a break. For those who are listening, if you have a call, a comment, a question, a query, well, 949-8037, or you can do the toll-free line at 1-800-534-TALK. Please stay tuned for Talk Today.
Fidelity Bank would like to thank all essential workers. We salute your efforts and thank you for the sacrifices you've made to keep us all safe. During these challenging times we're facing, our top priority is the health and safety of the communities we serve. And while it's true that things are changing rapidly every day, one thing that will never change is our commitment to giving you the best and sound financial solutions to help you during and after the coronavirus pandemic. At Fidelity Bank, our focus will always be you. Fidelity, we're good for you.
Hi, this is Danny Coleman, Director of Hazard Management Cayman Islands. We are now in the hurricane season, and for information on how to prepare and stay safe, please visit our website, www.caymanprepared.ky. Some top tips to bear in mind, given that we are still in the midst of COVID-19. Please make sure you have a mask and sanitizer, you have food supplies that last for 3 to 5 days, a portable radio, personal hygiene and sanitation items, and medical supplies, and any other specific items your family may need during a hurricane. Make sure you know where you will shelter in the event of a storm. If you have pets, please make sure provisions are in place for them too, as the majority of shelters will not take pets. Please visit our website for more tips and tricks on www.caymanprepared.ky or call us on 945-4624. Stay safe, Cayman.
The Cayman Islands government wishes to advise the public that they will continue to distribute reusable cloth masks across the Cayman Islands with the assistance of the RCIPS Community Police Officer and Community Safety Officer in your areas. Officers will be visiting homes in all districts over the next few weeks, and a limited supply of both disposable and reusable masks will also be available at supermarkets. Remember, you are required to wear a mask when indoors in any public place and when using public transportation. Continue to maintain a minimum of 6-foot distance at all times from persons who do not live in your own household, and wash hands frequently. Stay safe, Cayman.
On your Yesteryear Musical, Saturday at 8 p.m. on Breeze Radio, tune in for a special Father's Day edition. Music in celebration of fathers. Saturday evening at 8 o'clock on Breeze Radio. 105.3 FM in Grand Cayman and 91.9 FM in Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. Your Yesteryear Musical.
These are the words within my father's song.
Your Yesteryear Musical Father's Day edition. Saturday, 8 p.m. on Breeze Radio.
Talk today.
But I do have some questions.
Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome back. Thanks for joining us. And again, a special thanks for the opportunity to share with our listeners, about the foster care program. Social workers, Ms. Lois Webb, and a colleague, Ms. Marjorie Whitaker, are our guests. Thank you again, not just for what you do, but for being with us this afternoon and hopefully encouraging us to be a part of it. We do have a caller joining us. Trust and pray all working well. Let's see if we can invite the caller. That's fine. All right, let's go to the phones. Good afternoon. Welcome. Thank you for calling.
Good afternoon.
How are you, my friend? And before you come, I just want to make sure, Miss Marjorie, are you able to hear our caller?
Yes, sir, I am.
Okay, and Miss Lois?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Wow. All that's missing now is cassava cake or even custard top cornbread, but that's tomorrow. Okay, sir, thank you again, my good friend. Sorry for that. I just want to make sure because, no sense talking if nobody can hear, right? But welcome, man. Thanks for calling.
You're welcome to being in the home. I have a question for your guest.
Yes, sir.
Yes, are same-sex couples allowed to adopt children?
With that question, everyone is able to apply. Like I said, everyone goes through a vetting process, right? I cannot speak to that specifically, but like I said, no one is turned away from applying.
Okay, because from what I was told before, here in the Cayman Islands, that is allowed. Is that true?
Yeah, as she shared, nobody's turned away from applying. I guess there's a vetting process, and I guess indirectly, people are qualified irrespective of age, religion, nationality, ethnicity, economic status. An open heart and an open home, huh?
Okay.
Here you
Well,
can. Yes.
well, psychologically, for a child, do you think that is the right environment for them?
But I leave it to our learned guest to answer. But with respect to them,
The questions are for your guest, Dwayne.
no, I hear that, right? But as junior
Okay.
civil servants,
Yeah.
maybe that's a question for
What?
politicians.
Yeah. The best thing for you to do is basically call our office, make an appointment, and someone can give you more specific information on all the questions that you have right now.
Okay, but I was expecting you all to have those
Because
answers.
right now, because we're talking about fostering, and like I said before, you can apply, all right? You can apply. But if you have specific matters that you'd like to discuss, then like I said, you can call the office and make an appointment, and someone will be more than happy to speak with you.
And respectfully, Keith, I don't want you to misunderstand. What I'm saying that, the civil service structure is that they load like me down the totem pole. Those are policy issues that rise up to the chain. And if there's a policy issue, the civil servants are to implement, not to formulate. So that may come better for those that higher up, politically speaking. So I understand what you're sharing, but respectfully appreciate their position as well.
Yes, can I say a comment?
Yeah, of course, man. We can have a conversation. Not a problem at all.
Okay. Well, when it comes to Father's Day and same-sex couples, there are two women who have a child adopted. Who will that child call, say Happy Father's Day to?
Not necessarily that it's
Yes, and let another question. On Mother's Day, if two same-sex couples, two men adopt a child, who will they say Happy Mother's Day to? So to allow that kind of an adoption is wrong.
Here's a question, not to be rhetorical necessarily, no, but in that same scenario, you have a child who doesn't know his parent, whether it's the mother or the father, because they're absent, they're unknown to the other party, whatever the reason is. To whom does that child say Happy Father's Day, Happy Mother's Day to? In that scenario, I hear your concerns, man, and maybe that's where we drop,
If they don't know their mothers or their fathers.
In the sense that they may know of them, but they don't know them. They're absent, right? They what say, and about anyway, you know the saying. But I hear you. Talk to me.
Well, it's wrong. It's wrong, and there's nothing anyone can say that makes it right. And it should not be allowed here in the Cayman Islands.
All right. Certainly, you make no bones about being very, very strong in your view. So, hey, thanks for that, man. Thanks for that. And respectfully, I know that our guests have to get back.
Yes.
Talk to you some more. We'll have some open line later. We can probably pick it up and talk about other family issues. But Miss Lois and Miss Marjorie, I know that you have to get back to your work, and it's probably ever increasing. We were asking some questions prior, though, in terms of fostering. Is there a limit on the number of children a person or a couple can foster at a time?
So you are able to foster 3 children at a time. More than 3 children, it would have to get the approval from management and the Department of Children and Family Services. Usually this is done when we have sibling groups because, we try to keep siblings together as much as we're able to do so because that's the best thing for them. So maybe if we have a group of 5 siblings and we have a foster family that have the ability to provide space and care for them, then it's something that can be discussed.
Okay. Keep the families together, I think, is important.
Yes.
And then, okay. Well, what else do you want to share with us as we continue the discussion? I mean, in particular, how do we get more information if we're interested, at the very least want to find out more? about becoming a foster parent?
For anyone who's interested in becoming a foster parent, they can either call our DCFS Foster and Adoption Care Unit at 949-0290, or they can email at dcfsfostercare@gov.ky. And we do look forward to hearing from the community in regards to, obtaining more foster parents, because right now we need more foster parents, and it would be a great thing to be able to call upon someone who is willing and able to assist in the time of a child's need.
Okay. And then perhaps if you'd allow me to ask one more, because you were just sharing earlier, and I was thinking, all of us as parents could use training and assistance and help. And thankfully we have our own parents and other extended family members. But do foster parents get any particular training? I know there's immense support that your department sort of offers, but any particular training for foster parents?
Yes. Our department is constantly providing training for our foster parents. Even right now during COVID-19, we are not stopping our trainings. We are able to provide trainings through Zoom. We also are able to provide individual trainings to our foster parents. Sometimes it may not be easy to talk about problems or with a group in a group setting. So if you wish to have like a one-to-one training session with a social worker, we're able to do that. We also partner with different agencies to provide these trainings, like the FRC or any other agency that can be beneficial for our foster parents. So we always have training.
All right, excellent. Well, as we continue, anytime we can be of value to your particular team, but the department in general, let us know. Any closing thoughts, Ms. Lois, that you may want to leave with our listeners?
I'd like to just encourage, anyone who feels that they have an open heart and loving home to assist a child, who may be in need for fostering at any point in time. Please do, make contact with us, especially during these times, because I know that some parents do get, overworked and overwhelmed, and it is sometime when they may need just a bit, someone to even say call and talk to, depending on the circumstances. I do hope that during this time, it's family time, and a lot of families have gotten to bond, greater bonds and better bonds, and actually get to know their children then, so to speak. I do hope that this time has, even though a difficult time, has been educational time, for parents and children alike.
I also would like to add that becoming a foster parent does change the lives of children. We've had many cases where children have born prematurely with health issues, parents not being able to provide proper care for them, and foster parents step in, provide a stable environment for the children, and these children are thriving. They are doing well, they're happy, they are developing just like how any other regular child would. So when you think about becoming a foster parent, think about all the positive changes that you can make in a child.
You just never know how impactful and positive that will be for the future. But you certainly know what it means for now, right? So thank you all again, especially to those who have opened their hearts and their homes. Ladies, enjoy the rest of your day and the week as well.
Thank you, and thank you very much for having us on.
Thank you. Thank you.
Always a pleasure. And I remember to say Miss Whitaker this time, so don't remember to tell the husband, all right? Ladies, enjoy. In the studio, that would be much funnier, right? All the best to you guys.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks. To our listeners, let's pause and take a break. When we come back, if you want to laugh, that's fine. If you think you need a shoulder to cry on, well, Mr. Carl is a big, strapping young man. He'll be there for you. I'll listen anyway. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
Satisfaction is guaranteed 24 hours a day, whether it's music or information.
From Grand Cayman to Cayman Brac to Little Cayman, we've got you covered.
You ever hear a thing like that?
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
Today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman.
It's only two species that we have here on the island.
Generations present.
Your voice, your choice.
It is in the best interest of the people of these islands.
Local, regional, international. This is Headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
Today's biggest news.
With your latest headlines, I'm Felicia Rankin-Solins.
Starting Sunday, June 21st, persons in Grand Cayman will now be able to use a boat for any purpose with a 10-person limit. Travel for pleasure by boat to visit the sister islands is still not allowed for persons in Grand Cayman. Premier Honorable Alden McLaughlin reminds the public they are still not allowed to operate or maneuver a boat so as to congregate or gather with any person or other boat or vessel where the number of people exceeds 10. Congregating or conducting any boating activities in Starfish Point, Rum Point, the Sandbar, and Stingray City continue at this stage. The same applies for Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. In international news, Florida has reported 3,207 additional coronavirus cases on Thursday, the largest single-day count in the state since the pandemic, according to Florida Department of Health. Florida's total reported cases climbed to nearly 86,000, according to data released by the state. Scientists have found evidence that large carnivorous dinosaurs lived in Australia. A team of researchers analyzed dinosaur footprint fossils. Some of the tracks were up to 31 inches long, and they concluded the dinosaurs were up to 9 feet high at the hips and about 32 feet long. British singer Vera Lynn, whose ballads during World War II provided the soundtrack for the Allied war effort, has died at the age of 103. Lynn's two most famous songs, We'll Meet Again, released in 1939, and The White Cliffs of Dover, recorded in 1942, created a patriotic image of a courageous Britain that resonates with people in the UK even today. Those are your headlines. I'm Felicia Rankin-Solins.
For the latest in news and information,
follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, radiocayman.gov.ky.
your voice, your choice, your radio.
Talk today.
But I do have some questions.
Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waging to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back. And as you're out and about and probably busier than ever, if you got time on your hands and you have a thought that you want to share, well, maybe you just want to provoke a bit of thought. Maybe you want to elicit some comments. Well, why not join us? 9498037 or 1-800-534-8255. You can share your thoughts with us either which way. Even a WhatsApp 925-3261. You record a voice note and send it through. We can play it if that is your, preference, your intent. But the idea is to be able to engage others, to not only educate and inform, but sometimes to instruct, to bring people to a place where they're prepared to reason, to champion and to challenge, not necessarily because they're being, as some would say, troublesome. They're trying to create strife. You remember that word once you would hear? But it's about asking people to think. Sometimes just to ask questions in a way that hopefully will seek others to knowledge, gain answers and information that can better prepare them so that as they go forward, they'll be positioned to make a meaningful, positive impact. Well, what is that thing that you would like to do if you could? And as you're evaluating now where we are in this phase of restrictions and easing and releasing and the like, how do you feel about it? Is it a time for celebration? Are you cautiously optimistic? Are you overly concerned? For some of us, it's about time. For others, we're like, well, hang on, let's not rush too much because we don't want to risk this, that, or the next. And others, as they analyze it, I'll give you the one comment that I've heard, since the press briefing yesterday. If I've heard it once, they say you've heard it 100 times. The notion that when we go to being able to congregate at tables in public places, or restaurants and bars and the like, if there are no limits on the number of tables, why is there a physical distance between the table? Well, you tell me. 949-8037, 1-800-534-8255. You may equally be consciously aware of the push in the United Kingdom for a group of its citizens to bring a legal challenge against the government for its actions. Not that they're not concerned about the quality of life and the value of life, but they're worried that as freedoms by democratically elected governments, you know, acting in ways to not only restrict people, but to impact their lives in a negative way, materially and financially, harm their businesses. People have expressed concerns across, many of the democracies in the Western world. Well, what is your view? 949-8037 or 1-800-534-8255. Share your thoughts with us here, and who knows where that'll take us. I know. I was looking at an initial comment by one of our listeners early in the week that was sort of sent one of those electronic means where the person was sharing that sometimes in Cayman in particular, we are so quick to just follow along. Sadly, he said there are also some who are almost as quick to resist, to question, to sort of, you know, look at things in a way with a view to making waves, as it were. And had asked a few of the individuals in the group, w- from the Cayman perspective, where does our society tend to swing? Are we more of the followers and quickly acquiesce? Are we the more to question and perhaps challenge? And it was a very small number of people, less than 15 people, and he wanted to poll just to see from that sample, where they would be, and it was interesting. He expected, to acquiesce, whereas it appeared that, they were then and there willing to challenge something that they didn't think it was right. Now, his question wasn't necessarily, relating to this particular scenario that we're facing, but just in general. Uh, his question, I don't think I would betray any confidences, nor would I say anything that is improper. His question was, if a government policy was such that it affected society in this way, where would you, find yourself? Are you willing to go along, or are you willing to speak up? And lo and behold, almost everybody said, they'll speak up. Well, as you can quite quickly imagine, question then becomes, well, in real life, is that what you would do? That's what you would like to do. That's what you think you would do. But is it something that we would do? Well, he sent a few links to similar studies over the years as to what people think they would do and what they would eventually end up doing and how it plays out. And without hopefully getting the sort of synopsis wrong or the conclusion, it would appear that people at the end of the day would, want to do the right thing, but very rarely will they actually do it, especially if there's a financial or physical cost to them. And if it would seem that the majority is going along, then most people will just, swim with the tide and go right along, even though they probably would not want to. Now, the reason I mention that is simple and very obvious, I think, to most of us. The progress and the prosperity that we enjoy in our societies, it's because of our actions collectively to make sure that we're looking out for each other as we advance our own interests. I think we've enjoyed great stability and success, recognizing the incredible service and sacrifice of the many countless lives that have been lost to defend freedoms and the like. And as one individual was sharing with me recently, you know, we see the protests almost across the globe now, and companies responding in a way, hopefully some probably with financial contributions, others with probably no more than lip service. Some are revamping their products, maybe finally taking them off the shelves, maybe repositioning them to be more respectful of people generally, but specifically of past, actions that were not only prejudice against some people because of their ethnicity and otherwise, but to what extent do you think things like discrimination and racism, prejudice, and the like are being properly addressed, even in our country? Now, are we at risk of taking on certain positions without fully embracing the consequences and the needed action to ensure that we truly advance our people? Are we looking at things from the perspective of the color of our skin? I mean, not to think of the words of Bob Marley when we hear that would probably be a great disservice, as he shared, not until, the color of a man's skin is no more important than the color of his eyes or words to the effect, and there will be, as he shared. And when we think of that, are we thinking of ethnicity, perhaps even, the person's nationality? Are we looking equally at their whole sort of makeup, education, where they live, and the like? Well, invite you to call and share any particular issue that you want to as we pause and take this quick break. When we come back, more talk today.
Green Turtle, modern solutions to get you through the new normal. Download the Green Turtle app now and top up yours or a loved one's phone with any mobile carrier in any destination. Home delivery of laptops, tablets, phones, accessories, and iTunes and major online retailer gift cards. And now, home deliveries of groceries and courier service. Guaranteed delivery within 2 hours from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Visit their list of products at greenturtle.ky or download the Green Turtle app today. Green Turtle is not only the future of mobile, but today it can help save a life. Take a ride on the Green Turtle Express today. Download the Green Turtle app. The future of mobile, saving lives today.
This Father's Day, more than ever, Celebrations wants to deliver an extra special thank you and show appreciation and love to the other unsung hero, Dad. Celebrate your favorite bud with a great gift basket filled with special treats such as fruits, gourmet goodies, beverages of choice, all uniquely designed for him. With every order this Father's Day, Celebrations will be donating part proceeds to local charity, Feed Our Future, and helping to support families. Celebrations will be doing island-wide, safe, non-contact delivery from this Thursday, June 18th until Sunday, June 21st. Call us on 623-2044 or place your order online at www.celebrationsgifts.com. Happy Father's Day from Celebrations.
These are stressful times. We can all use a little break from the stress.
I got ice cream for you.
Did you know, according to Science Times, eating ice cream in moderation can help reduce stress? You're not dreaming. You heard correct. Ladies, gentlemen, and kids alike, Cayman Ice Cream is here to save your day. With home delivery of the best homemade ice cream on the island. Quality assurance guaranteed. $10 half-gallon tubs of crepe nut, rum and raisin, vanilla, cookies and cream, banana, strawberry, and Guinness. Call 323-0861 to place your Cayman Ice Cream order now and feel the stress melt away. Indulge in your dreams today. Cayman Ice Cream, 323-0861.
Cayman Ice Dream is also available in all supermarkets.
Your personal, physical, mental, and emotional health are crucial during these times. We are social creatures, and times of social isolation can seem torturous, but it is temporary. Much like the growing pains of our youth, we will get through this. During these times of social distancing, do all you can to maintain your physical, mental, and emotional welfare. Your family and the community needs you to emerge strong. Hashtag stay home, Cayman.
With social distancing, wearing masks has become the new normal. With so many new restrictions during COVID-19, it can be a little depressing. But here's how Ashton Bodden of Cayman Brac is adjusting to life during self-isolation.
I think my wife and I handled the self-isolation quite well. We understood the reason for it, so we just told ourselves we had to comply and deal with it. We wore our masks and gloves and did social distancing. There were some things we had to adjust to, but they were all minor, and it was for a relatively short time. For instance, only one of us went to the grocery store to collect the food part of it. We spent a lot of time in our garden around the house. We always found plenty of different things to do. It was never a dull moment for us. We were quite active, I would say. I thank God for that. And then again, 2 o'clock came the highlight of the day, the press briefing, which we were careful to hear what was said and the changes that were being made so we could comply accordingly. And may God bless these Cayman Islands that we call home.
If you or someone you know needs assistance, call the Older Persons Helpline at 1-800-534-2222 today for free and confidential support. This message was brought to you by the Department of Children and Family Services.
Talk today.
But I do have some questions.
Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners' participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back. Thank you for sharing with us as we invite you to be part of our discussion. It's open line here on Talk Today, 949-8037 or 1-800-534-8255. Quickly, just a comment shared with us during the break. And again, to the listener, I do respect and recognize that some of us, for many, many, many different reasons, do not wish to call in and have their voices either recognized or mistaken for somebody else. And I also, have to share with him the break is long, but it isn't that long. So it's not, can engage in a level of conversation. So I know he probably didn't get to finish his sentiments that he was expressing. But quickly, what he was asking is it too soon for us to engage in political sort of, not just banter, but campaigning, getting engaged in political commentary, as I interpret it, and starting to point fingers and assess blame. Yeah, he didn't use words to that effect, but basically, accountability, transparency, and asking where it's at. And this is the challenging part because although he was rushing, he alluded to the fact that, we are now in this particular place. And like most things, we are very mindful of the country's efforts, the government's efforts, the response of most of us, and the thankfulness, that whether we attribute it, as many do, to prayer, to the civility, to the quick action, to the level of decisiveness that government, the people collectively in the early days. But he also asked something that I may want to share with you. So let's go to the phones first. When we come back, we'll see what happens. Okay, good afternoon. Welcome. Thanks for calling.
Hi, Sterling. How are you?
Very thankful. How about yourself?
Oh, not bad. I was in the hospital for a few days, but anyway, I'm out.
Oh, well, I am glad to hear that you're out. Sorry that, hopefully everything is well. We'll talk more about that as you wish, but good to hear from you.
Okay. What I'm calling about, as the beaches are being opened up to the public, and the public needs to take more consideration in leaving the garbage all around the place, like for the Miramoli Heights Road, the beer bottles, the lunch boxes, etc. I mean, this is very, unconscionable because there are people that's living right in that neighborhood, and they end up cleaning it. And then on another note, the Miramoli Heights Road is a public road right down to, you can come from the gas station or you can come from the Alfresco's. And last Sunday, I went to visit my people and I couldn't get through. Anyway, I managed somehow to help me, and I managed to squeeze through. People has to be reminded that people live on that road, and they have access from the gas station and the Al Frisco's restaurant.
Yeah, from
So it's very, and then I'm not the only one driving there. There's a lot of people that was trying to get through too, just taking the scenic view. And I hope somebody's listening from NRA. They need to put up a sign as best as possible, no parking, because you know how the vacant spot is there, and then you merge right on to the Town Hall Road.
Right.
That is where they fill up, and then you can't get in or out if you come from that end.
Yeah.
So
can I ask you then, on that road, and again, forgive my lack of knowledge specifically, but there are, I don't want to call them speed bumps because they look more like parking blocks, but I'm not quite sure, that are on that road. Again, not to offend anybody, but
I'm
are
glad you
they?
raised that issue
Okay.
because a few people complained to me as a member of the Concerned Citizen Group.
Yes, ma'am.
And I actually wrote to the NRA, and nobody has answered me because what the persons that did speak to me said is that the speed bumps that are put down, it don't look like the ones that government usually put down. Is the ones that you see in the private parking lots. And you see what the whole problem is there. The person that is renting the restaurant feels that he has the whole area there. And one thing that the NRA should really look into, when they built that deck, they didn't have any planning permission. It was an after-fact application because myself and other members of the Church of God there, we had opposed the liquor licensing. And when it went, they had to go a couple of times to actually get the liquor license because of certain things. But one of the main things was they didn't have planning permission. So planning let them do the after-fact application. But what they failed to do, if you look where the deck is, it is very, you can say it's practically into the edge of the road.
Into the road, yeah.
Yeah, and that is not right.
Okay. Well, if I could then ask you, if you well, first off, do you have another minute? Because your call couldn't be more timely. During the break, I got a call, and one of the points raised was the whole issue of beaches now that the beach is open, right? So could I share with you in that light, invite your comment if you want, but certainly, would that be all right? The gentleman referenced, as you shared, the beaches now that the beaches are being open and more people will be going, despite the fact that we said we don't have that many people here. He's finding that the beaches are just crowded, for whatever reason. There are just so many people on their beaches doing their thing. Like you, we referenced the abuse of the beaches in terms of the littering and the disrespect. He used some other words, but those are probably the better ones to select from what he had to say. But he also referenced some structures that are on the beach, some apparently that have been there for a long time. The West Indian Club was one that he referenced. There's some, I don't know, cabana or the lake jutting out into the water. One by the Royal Palms area, some sort of, I don't know how he described it, but I kind of picture, little huts like on the beach, right?
Okay, I haven't really been there, on the beach recently because, the lake problem that I had is difficult
Yes, ma'am.
to walk on the sand. But let me say this. We are now, the Concerned Citizens Group, we are now before the Grand Court with an intervening application because there had been an application made by the developer, as you quietly identified in that area, to remove, I think is to reposition those accesses. What they want to do, there's the one down by Ralakeen, and I'll go back to the one up that you just spoke about.
Yes, ma'am.
Um, you see, when they close the West Bay Road, you can't get to that access, and they have to
No.
work that. They have to work that out. But the one by the Kimpton, where you see the public access sign, that was actually given for the use of the public of the Cayman Islands because we have the documentation. Anyway, they were trying to have this thing um, repositioned, and that is going to take away another access, and they haven't offered, anything to, to keep an access there, and that there's access is being, less and less again, and it is true in that area that they're trying to move. And I got the time to go into all of the detail. Now, moving up to the one to the Royal Palms is two there too, and those were given by the Colonels for the use and benefit of the public of the Cayman Islands. And we are fighting those and saying you just can't relocate these accesses because you about to make them wider. You cutting down on space. Not everybody want to crowd up in that one area. And when they put the tunnel there, we also pointed that out. And now they're trying to resolve that by moving those. And they went to the planning department, and planning actually approved of it. But the catch in it, there's a new amendment to the registered land law, and planning didn't have the power to do it. So now they're approaching the new amendment to try to get them relocated under the registered land law in the Grand Court. So that's another battle that we're fighting, and they also wouldn't give us legal aid. Anyway, we appealed that to a judge in the Grand Court. So it's going to be interesting to see when these relocation of these accesses takes place, to see how it's going to be treated, because in addition to the owners giving the property to the for the public itself has used those accesses as indefeasible rights. So
Right.
it is left to be seen what's going to happen. But anyway, we are there, fighting to try to keep as many accesses as possible. And what is the sad thing about it is those unregistered ones are the ones that we went to court for in January under the judicial review, and all of that has to be solved because people have blocked them. I don't know how it's going to be going to work out, because those claims were in long time before they blocked them, so they just can't take them because nothing has happened. But there's not that we sat down on it. They're gonna have to compensate somehow. If just say if an access runs in the middle of the property and they blocked it, they should give us something on the side to enter, because they have taken away what was for the use and benefit of the public.
Right. Well,
I
I'll
hope I've answered your question.
Yes, ma'am. Well, if I could, maybe not necessarily for an answer from you, but I'll also mention, as he was talking about the beaches and accesses, and just generally talking about things. He said, take for instance. Now I don't know when these came about. I couldn't answer him, but I'll just reference it for you. North of the Governors, near, I don't know where's that, Plantana, Pinnacle, Avalon, somewhere in that area. He said by getting close to Harbor Heights, there are these, he called them barricades, vertical barricades that you see that they put into roads in order to divide lanes.
Yeah,
and then again,
I've seen those, and it is one down in the area there by the another one by the Christopher Columbus as well.
And you referenced that one as well. Yeah.
And that is also that's the reserve, shoulder of the road. So if you drive in and your car broke down, where are you going to pull over as well? But you see, those accesses are near that have the sign up are near where they put those barricade things.
Yeah.
And that is to prevent the public from parking there. So
right. Well, that's what
they're
he
doing
alluded
everything to discourage it. So that's why you find so many people crowded up in one place.
Right. So the question that he asked, and again I apologize to him for rushing him off when I get back on here. His questions were, very obvious. Did they get permission? If so, from whom? If they haven't got permission, why are they there? Does it mean now the other properties can do likewise? Where is that in relation to road safety? Referencing what you shared, pulling off if you have to, an emergency vehicle, the ambulance is coming down. Where are you going to pull off to allow the ambulance to safely pass?
Well, we are looking into that, and but I had a delay of being sick. I haven't
Yes,
got
ma'am.
in touch with Mr. Adams
Uh-huh.
because we were talking about it, and he said, as far as I can recall, I hope he's listening, I hope I got it right, that he was going to do the letter, and, we would just vet it and send it to the NRA as an FOI to see who, whether they got permission or not.
Well, I think maybe tomorrow, or actually after the show, I'll go and I got put a stake down in the middle of the road as well and say, you know what, it's now my property. I don't know. These are the reason why I asked that question, because he wasn't livid by any means, but he was a bit ticked, off that the fact that, he's trying to get to the beach and the access was difficult, and some of the places they were crowded, but there were spots that were being, deliberately hindered. And he referenced those two, plus the other things on the beach when you're using it. I don't know. Maybe we'll resolve these things when we start thinking about what's really important.
Well, if it was times before now, because in those days, let me put it like this: we had men then; they would have went and took them up a long time.
So you're telling me if my daughter goes and do that now, you'll take care. Okay, just kidding. But listen, thank you for sharing. Right? Anything else you want to share with us, Mom?
No, the only thing I gotta run off, so
Yes,
I'll
Mom.
save some of this for another day.
Please do continue to be safe and to get better. And we'll talk to you very soon, Mom.
Okay, thank you.
You're most welcome. Well, please join us after this short break. And hey, you don't have to agree, but if you do, we'll listen to you as well. So stay tuned for Talk Today.
Green Turtle, modern solutions to get you through the new normal. Download the Green Turtle app now and top up yours or a loved one's phone with any mobile carrier in any destination. Home delivery of laptops, tablets, phones, accessories, and iTunes and major online retailer gift cards. And now, home deliveries of groceries and courier service. Guaranteed delivery within 2 hours from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Visit their list of products at greenturtle.ky or download the Green Turtle app today. Green Turtle is not only the future of mobile, but today it can help save a life. Take a ride on the Green Turtle Express today. Download the Green Turtle app. The future of mobile, saving lives today.
Like most of you, I'm at home with the family. We're cooking more, washing more, spending more time on our computers, and the air conditioning units are running more than normal. If I keep this up, my electricity bill will remain high. I'm signing up to MyCUC on www.cuc-cayman.com so I can monitor my daily usage. I need to be in control of how much electricity I'm using so that I can manage how much money I spend. Some things need to unplug in this house, and we can't run this AC all day, you hear?
Healthcare Pharmacy cares about your health throughout COVID-19 regulations. Our Grand Harbor location is open from Monday to Saturday, 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. and on Sundays from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Our Governor Square Pharmacy on 7 Mile Beach is open from Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Please ensure you wear a mask when entering our pharmacies and practice safe distancing. Call ahead to refill your prescriptions or go to www.healthcarepharmacy.ky to refill and transfer prescriptions online. You can also WhatsApp your refill or transfer 329-7313.
The Cayman Islands government wishes to advise the public that they will continue to distribute reusable cloth masks across the Cayman Islands with the assistance of the RCIPS Community Police Officer and Community Safety Officer in your areas. Members of the public living in gated stratas are asked to contact the Community Policing Department at the Georgetown Police Station on 649-4222 to arrange delivery or collection of their mask. Stay safe, Cayman.
Talk today.
But I do have some questions.
Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey good afternoon. Welcome back. Thank you for joining us. It is open line. We have a couple of callers, so respectfully, let's join them immediately. Good afternoon. Thank you for calling.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How are you?
Yeah, how you doing? Good. I just calling. This is a long distance call from Florida, and I got a couple of questions. And see what is the? I kind of confused now because it's emergency. It's emergency. The government have emergency form online so we can complete to return to the Cayman Island, and maybe I done it maybe about 4 or 5 times and still not getting no answer from the government. And me and my wife, we've been stuck here from this pandemic from the last 2 months. We tried to get back, and I don't know how to do it. So I've been doing I trying, and I still getting no answer. What I just want to know, I've been follow this update on the COVID, and it's still not been clear. It's a lot of Caymanians here been stuck. The budget is done. So what is the plan? The government going to send something up to help us here in the state to maintain, or what is the plan? I still confused. How we going to get back to the Cayman Island because this thing getting worse. It's a second round coming up, and I'm not really planning to be stuck here now 6 months or so. Can you have some answer or see how we can work out something, or what is the plan?
When did you go up to Florida? Was it this year? Was it 2 weeks ago? I mean, when did you travel up to Florida?
No, I've been here from I traveled from the Cayman Island on the 22nd of March. So I've been in quarantine from that time. I've been planning to get back because my flight was canceled.
Okay, but you left here. You left Cayman on the 22nd of March.
On February? No.
Yeah, when did you leave Cayman?
On the 22nd of February.
Okay, February. Okay.
Yeah.
And you've been trying to get back ever since prior to the closure?
Well, I planned to have a vacation time for a month, so coming back to the Cayman Island on the 23rd. And my flight was canceled after that. And from that on, I tried to get back, and I don't know. I mean, I don't have no answer how to get back on it because I've been calling in, I email it, I complete the form online. I should be get some email back to me and tell me what to do, and nothing been going on, and my budget is done. So, and I get back to work. I've been in quarantine all this time, and I don't know what to do. I don't know.
And
what
the
to do.
emails
My
that you've been.
only chance is to call you guys and see, because I've been following the update on the COVID-19 and still not getting nothing clear. They're going to send the flight. I call into the flight. The flight is saying they don't have no way to put anyone to coming back to the island. But I hear it's 19 tourists coming in from USA sometime last week, but 2 days ago. So I don't know what's going on. You see, I try to work with the power plant as a essential worker. I have my letter. I send the letter to the government, and as essential worker, and still not getting no answer. So what? I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
If you advise me what? Yeah. Go ahead.
So when you sent your email and you didn't get a response, where are some of the places or the people that you sent your email to? Who did you email?
I complete the form online, and I sent email to the emergency travel and at the government website. So and I don't get an answer. I don't get no answer.
Have you, were you able to ask your employer to see if they could offer assistance? I mean, they know you're there. They know your employer knows you're on vacation, right? And you haven't returned yet. Has your employer made any efforts on your behalf?
Yes, they know. Yes, they know about it. They're still working on that, but like I say, still I know getting they're still working and they say nothing yet. So I gotta wait. That's what he told me, but I gotta find some answer and see because I had a flight leaving tomorrow coming in to Florida. So I tried to get on the flight. I cannot get on the flight. It's another flight on the 26th. It's nothing clear. According, I got it registered online. I sent email to the websites on Cayman government emergency travel, and still they don't answer me back. So I don't know how long I can keep up here because my budget is finished.
Hmm. Well, you are in a predicament. We've heard there are probably 150, 300 um, people who want to return, back home, back to Cayman, Caymanians, permanent residents, and the like. Uh, it's a challenge. Now, I'm just trying to think how to get, some particulars from you to offer some assistance in guiding you. Sometimes emails don't always get through to the intended target, huh?
Right.
And as you said, your budget, your finances are getting low. There's obviously a
It's
growing
getting low.
concern as to how you can continue.
Right.
Have you, other than making your employer know that listen, you can't get back home, uh, your employer your employer offered any way to see if they could intervene to contact the requisite government personnel to make them aware that hey, we got an employee, one of us over there. Has the employer done any of that for you? Do you know?
Well, I assume they're doing that because
Yeah.
this been going on. Yeah, I talked to my employer and I explained what the situation, and then still working on that. But at this time now, the flight keeping coming in and go, and it's still here.
Mm-hmm.
So this now is it's Friday coming up now on the 19th. It's another flight coming in, and what is the? I mean, still we can take the flight back to the Cayman Islands. So I still not getting nothing clear yet. So I just want to see find my own way to get things done because right now it's still uncertain.
Yeah. And I just want to make sure I did not misunderstand you. You say you've been hearing that tourists, the visitors, have been coming back on the flights as well.
Yes, I hear that's what I understand on this last update. It's Cabolo and the flight coming in American line, I think, with some visitor, and the government has to put them in quarantine. So I don't understand why, as a Caymania, we can get back in the island and we got some visitor coming in. That's why I understand it on the update.
Yeah, that may or may not be the case, but unfortunately, as you shared, that there are a lot of a lot of people who speculate and sometimes in absence of definitive information, there may be a lot of conjecture. Um, there are growing concerns, and if you're there and you're not able to, can you send us an email with some information? No promises that we'll be able to do anything specifically, but at least we have an understanding of where you are. Are you willing to share some information with us, and we can contact you and see where you are?
Okay, I don't have no problem.
Right.
I will send you email and see how we stay. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you. And in the meantime, be safe. I can imagine you and men like you are becoming, increasingly concerned. But send us some particulars and let's see where it takes us. All right.
All right.
All the best. Hear from you very soon. Okay, so send it to us. Oh man.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir. Well, let's take another caller if we can. Good afternoon. Welcome. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon, Sterling.
How are you?
Good. Thank God you're not a politician. Because you
How's
get in
that?
trouble today. Eh?
Me?
Thank
I
God
would
you're
get in
not a
trouble?
politician. You will get in trouble
Boy,
today,
well, maybe you could give me counsel, but that's something that if I ever have the honor and of good fortune of being of service to my country, I don't think I'll ever be a politician by 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 the way that that word has a connotation. Even if I'm elected, even if I'm the governor, or if we're an independent nation and I'm the what they call the prime minister, because politicians, they tell people what they think they want to hear, and they pander to everybody, trying to placate and pacify. I don't have that kind of tolerance, I like things done the right way, that kind of way. So you might be right about that. You, how are you, ma'am? How are you?
I'm just fine. I mean, I don't want to be personal, but where's his destination he's trying to get to?
He said he's calling from Florida, and he's trying
He's
to
calling
get,
from Florida.
he's trying to
Calling from
get,
the Cayman.
he's trying to get back to Cayman.
Oh,
I would have been inclined to ask more particulars, but then they might have been of a personal nature, and I don't like to get into
yeah.
people's business publicly,
Yeah.
so
But
you know how
I
that
don't
goes.
think he watching. I don't think you're watching our brief sessions enough to realize why he probably can't get back in here as it is because I don't know if he's coming as a visitor or he's a Caymanian by paper or a Caymanian by bus and trying to come home. And we had so much offer going on these last couple of months, bringing home all the people with Cayman papers and residents, and you know what I mean? All that kind
Yeah,
of good stuff. So it sounds like it's more on meets the eye, but we can leave that alone. It'll work out
yeah,
in due time when this corona's over.
yeah, man, yeah, man. Well, we also
Anyway,
know that
huh? Huh?
we also
Huh?
know that people have come back to Cayman, not just work permit holders returning, but new work permit holders, that are recently granted, and since this thing
Well,
have come. Uh, there's all sorts of, challenges and comments and allegations and the like, and why you have
I
to
gotta be
wonder, yeah?
kidding. I gotta be kidding. I didn't know they had a new work permit. Well, let me tell you something. You go sleep to like eating ice cream, and tomorrow morning when
Mm.
you wake up to go have coffee, you're gonna end up having some hot chocolate that you got to go in the backyard and to get up and fix it to the taste of a hot chocolate. You know what I mean?
Ay,
Then
ay, ay.
the lady from
Yes,
West,
ma'am.
the lady was on from West earlier. She said that we don't have the men today like we had before. They would have gone pull up those spikes down on a 7 mile stretch there. I agree with her 110%. Because
Mm-hmm.
Sarah and I was down that way just recently. And it is a shame to see how much construction is going on. And every 5 minutes of driving, you got these, I don't know what you even call them, 5, 6 plastic, but I don't know what the names are. And I think that they're really outrageous and disrespectful for the people of this island, owners, visitors, Cayman, people with Cayman papers, and we are Caymanians. It's a disgrace when you drive across and see these things all over the place. It just tells you that you're getting less and less of a space on your own island. And that has to be stopped because selling, if that is part of the main road, how come the condos have the audacity to put them out there in front of their condos? That road out there not belongs to them. But before they put them down, some of the staff, some of the visitors could park up on the side of the road. But all because the little prime, fool Caymanians wants to go to the beach, we don't have that access to get on there comfortable and go down comfortable, come back up comfortable, and enjoy the moment while we was on the beach. But something has to be done about Sterling. And Sterling, talking about our roads and all these hotels and so forth, we got 2 tunnels. And I am still waiting for someone to come and tell me that we're going to have an emergency in another West Bay to Georgetown as well as from Georgetown to West Bay. We need emergency roads for the future for these 2 tunnels. People think I'm talking garbage, but we need some emergency roads. Just how they could have gone and built those beautiful roads there in West Bay, going down to get to Papagallo and wherever else and so forth. They have plenty of land there, plenty of beautiful roads. They could have made that road to head into Georgetown. Is Velvet and get Georgetown Road from now? I don't have a clue. But we need an exit in another West Bay as well as Georgetown into West Bay. And we cannot depend and rely on these tunnels in the near future because they're going to be used when these hotels are finished. They're going to be trapped on every day to get across to go to Cayman Bay and so forth. They will be used. And anything that man built, they don't stand up too strong no more these days because we don't have the same man like the woman said just now. Here in the island. They got really strong and sturdy and all that kind of good stuff, you know what I mean?
Hmm. Well, I hear you. The tunnels are of concern. There's also the bridge, it limits the in and out. I do believe that the men and the women exist. The question is, are there others, men and women equally, who are willing to stand in
To
support?
join and
Yeah,
support, exactly. They
yeah.
just don't have any backbone because we're not accustomed to standing and fighting for our own country. We're too accustomed to just sitting back and relaxing, enjoying the moment and sharing what we have. But today now, if you eat, you eat. If you don't eat, the hell with you. You know what I mean? That's the sort of behavior we got to came on. But I'm going to
Yes,
let you
ma'am.
go, Sterling. But I want to say one more thing. And this
Hmm.
is pertaining to the sports beach up here at the cemetery. Sports beach. Up
Hmm.
where the cruise ship comes in at. Sterling, that beach is a disgrace. I know we just opening up slowly but surely. The garbage down there is unbelievable. The parking lot is not being rigged up on a regular basis. The garbage guys came and takes the two big drums there and take them out and pick up a few pieces off the ground and leave the rest. I see where they came and raked up a partial rake. Didn't have no blower and went about the business. Down there full of seaweed. Another thing, Sterling, apparently they stepped down to go down into the sand. That cement there is broke away. They need to go down there and make a proper walk-in for old people like me. They got bad knee. Auntie who want to go down in a wheelchair, who wants to go down instead of walk comfortable and walk back up comfortable. We don't have it there. We got to stop some trees. You're bucking your foot in, coming up out of the sand. It need to be level up. It need to be rebuilt with some more sand and put a decent
Hmm.
entrance and a proper walkway to get down to the beach. Even that mat they talk about, this handicap mat that is so got that sports beach needs some repairs. There's a big sign down there saying high current, and that has a big damage to it. And I don't know what
Hmm.
to wait on to come back and take that up and rebuild it and put it there because down there is full of current. It is full of current, so very dangerous.
Well,
So
there's a reason why
I'll
we
do that
didn't
with you.
swim in that area. But thank you too for
Yeah.
listening and for always sharing. We'll talk to
Okay.
you again very soon. All right.
Okay. Thanks. Bye bye.
Good. Well, with that, let's pause and take a break. Please stay tuned for Talk Today.
Fidelity Bank would like to thank all essential workers. We salute your efforts and thank you for the sacrifices you've made to keep us all safe. During these challenging times we're facing, our top priority is the health and safety of the communities we serve. And while it's true that things are changing rapidly every day, one thing that will never change is our commitment to giving you the best and sound financial solutions to help you during and after the coronavirus pandemic. At Fidelity Bank, our focus will always be you. Fidelity, we're good for you.
You may be home isolating, but your taste buds can explore the world. Dragon Inn Restaurant in Countryside Plaza, offering savory dishes in traditional, authentic, American, Szechuan, Mandarin, Filipino cuisine, and Cantonese style, made fresh daily. Family dinner specials, rich in taste with no MSG. Choose from stir fry, chop suey, chow mein, sweet and sour, and so much more. Call 947-1166. Pick up Monday to Saturday from 10:30 a.m. until 7 p.m. Delivery 7 days per week until 9 p.m. Dragon Inn Restaurant and Countryside Plaza. Daily lunch specials and combinations, bringing international deliciousness to your doorstep. Call 947-1166 to place your order.
Your Radio Cayman 6 p.m. news, Monday through Friday, is brought to you by Logic, your life connected.
The Cayman Islands government wishes to advise the public that they will continue to distribute reusable cloth masks across the Cayman Islands with the assistance of the RCIPS Community Police Officer and Community Safety Officer in your areas. Members of the public living in gated stratas are asked to contact the Community Policing Department at the Georgetown Police Station on 649-4222 to arrange delivery or collection of their mask. Stay safe, Cayman.
Talk today.
But I do have some questions.
Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back. Thanks for sharing with us. And I believe we have a caller, so thank you so much. Good afternoon. Welcome. Hello, good afternoon.
Hey, good afternoon, Dwayne.
Hey, welcome back again, man. And thanks too for your early comments and appreciate your understanding. Sometimes, the civil servants, they're doing their job, the policies are up higher.
Okay. Well, I know the government refused to pass the same-sex marriage, so we're speaking about politics concerning that situation. I know where the government stands with that part of it. But the gentleman that called in sounds like he's very desperate to get back.
That's very anxious indeed to get back here.
Yeah, because things are getting worse down there. And his budget is finished, which is very serious. But the only way that I know of that he would be able to get back here at this time that our borders are closed, the government is only allowing private planes to come in.
But is it Cayman Airways? I mean, also know the British Airways, but does it Cayman Airways has not made trips to, well, not just the region, but Miami in particular?
Well, maybe, but he said he's not getting any answers from the government. So I don't know. He left your phone number, right?
Well, hopefully he's left some information that we can contact.
Okay, because I mean, I know the government not gonna send Cayman Airways just down there just to pick him up. That's not gonna happen. So I guess he's gonna have to find out when Cayman Airways is coming there and if he's allowed to get on the flight and come back.
Yeah, I think that's what he was trying to, he's made, according to him, the online application, he sent information through, but no response. So it could just be an unfortunate, error in communication. We'll see. We'll see. It could be many other factors as well, that we don't have all the particulars as yet.
Yeah, because the coronavirus is very serious down in Miami now. But what I noticed about those American people doing, if it's not their way, it's no way. And when it comes to that virus could be in America for a long time. Thank you very much, Dwayne.
Thank you too, man. Thank you as well. And with that, we'll pause quickly. Go to our news, and when we come back, some more open lines. So please join us after the break.
Community radio with a different appeal. The voice of the people. Security through adversity. Stuck on you. Radio for all time.
You're listening to Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
Your 2 p.m. headlines brought to you by greenturtle.ky. Take a ride on the Green Turtle Express today. Download the Green Turtle app, the future of mobile. Saving lives today.
Today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman.
It's only 2 species that we have here on the island.
Your voice, your choice.
It is in the best interest of the people of these islands.
Local, regional, international. This is Headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
Today's biggest news.
With your latest headlines, I'm Felicia Rankin-Solins. Premier Honorable Alden McLaughlin clarifies churches are not subject to the 25-person gathering restriction from the 21st of June going forward, but they are subject to the protocols with respect to distancing, so the size of the church determines how many people are lawfully able to gather. In international news, the U.S. Supreme Court has ruled against President Donald Trump's bid to end a program that protects hundreds of thousands of young immigrants from deportation. The justices upheld lower court rulings which found his move to rescind the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals program was unlawful. Scientists have found evidence that large carnivorous dinosaurs lived in Australia. A team of researchers analyzed dinosaur footprint fossils. Some of the tracks were up to 31 inches long and concluded they belonged to a dinosaur that were up to 9 feet high at the hips and about 32 feet long. At least another 130,000 people worldwide have died during the coronavirus pandemic, on top of 440,000 officially.
Your 2 p.m. headlines brought to you by greenturtle.ky. Take a ride on the Green Turtle Express today. Download the Green Turtle app, the future of mobile, saving lives today.
Green Turtle, modern solutions to get you through the new normal. Download the Green Turtle app now and top up yours or a loved one's phone with any mobile carrier in any destination. Home delivery of laptops, tablets, phones, accessories, and iTunes and major online retailer gift cards. And now, home deliveries of groceries and courier service. Guaranteed delivery within 2 hours from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Visit their list of products at greenturtle.ky or download the Green Turtle app today. Green Turtle is not only the future of mobile, but today it can help save a life. Take a ride on the Green Turtle Express today. Download the Green Turtle app, the future of mobile, saving lives today.
For the latest in news and information,
Follow Radio K-Man on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio K-Man app or log on to our website, radiokman.gov.ky.
your voice, your choice, your radio.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program. Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back. Thank you for joining us as we invite you to be a part of a discussion. It's going to be some open line between now and the end of the program. You want to call and shine and share your thoughts, go right ahead. If you just want, to maybe ask a question, pose a comment. Perhaps there's something like the callers in the past who are not quite clear, wanted to make sure. Well, ask. We may not necessarily have the answers, but prayerfully, someone's listening and can direct us. At the very least, we're certainly willing to see if we can guide and maybe intervene on your behalf, but you never know. 949-8037 or toll free with the compliments of Flo at 1-800-534-8255. Call and share your thoughts with us if you want. Now, we were asking earlier on behalf of the caller off air who sort of said, hey, I know you're on a break, but quickly. His question was simply, is it too soon to engage in political banter, ask questions and the like? Didn't mean to be cheeky when I responded to him. I said, well, is there a time that we're not being political? Because for many of us, it's always political, no matter whether we're in the church or the school, or whether we're talking with our friends and family. Everything is political because politics is almost everything. And he was referencing the notion of the beach accesses and those pathways and the like. But let's go to our phones. Hey, good afternoon. Thank you for calling.
Hello, Dan.
Good afternoon. How are you today, sir?
Just fine, Billy here.
Mr. Billy, always a pleasure.
Yes, sir. Always a pleasure. Listen to you, too. And I heard Esme, the tail end of what Esme was saying. I've been busy with some other stuff. And I just like to reiterate, how our government does not operate, rather than saying how they operate. In that these things that have been put up on the West Bay Road at 3 different locations, and then we have it also on the side of the road on South Church Street. They've been allowed to put up these things. It's not at where the Finn place is going up, but it's close to where old Seaview Hotel used to be. So I guess they didn't want construction workers to park in front of that one adjoining there or whatever. I can't get into their head and understand the reason why they put them up. But the bottom line is, and it's the same problem that my brother has in West Bay on a gazetted road, where this man can put blocks and stones and park cars there 24 hours a day, and nothing happens. Nothing happens. you have a right. I hear him announcing about if you live in a gated community, the regulation is saying you must get in touch with police for a mask. Well, the policies and the guidelines and all those things to do say if you're going to put a gate anywhere, number one, the police and the emergency services have to have a key. And that key, also, you got to get the agreement of everybody that will be affected by that gate. And if you don't get that agreement, well, then the gate don't go in. But again, nothing happens. This is a lawless commonwealth. The laws are applied just for a few, or exempted just for a few, and then the rest of us. There's one guy with his in the lockdown period, a dog ran out into the road that he was taking care of. He had to run out to get the dog back in. It wasn't a main road, it was a side road. Just so happened a police car drove across up the top of the road, saw what was happening. I heard him talking on the talk show. And the police come down there and charge the guy. Charge the dude. Because he ran out into the road to get a dog.
Yeah.
And you have other people doing other things, and not a thing happens about it. And so you have these, originally, in these tunnels, I was in the planning board watching the fiasco that goes on, and the representative from DART, people afraid to call his name, I'm not, and
but you just referenced it in public, so there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah.
The representative from DART, because they were doing a DART application and under whatever company name that he has there to hide the whole thing. I forget what company name it was, but it's DART company. And originally, what they told the planning board, the reason why we build in these tunnels was they were not tunnels actually, they're overpasses, so people can walk from Kamana Bay down to the beach. And then when they came back for the 200-foot extension to end up with, 650 feet long, at that particular hearing, finally, one member of the planning board, who's no longer a member because they kicked him off the board, he asked the question, what is the reason for building these? And a different representative now, but from the same company, that person said, it's to do with business. Well, we know that that's the foundation where they want to put the 80-story building that our two co-premiers are promoting. And this is the Cayman Islands. And back to the beaches. They're trying to destroy our accesses to the beach.
Well, Mr. Billy, respectful though, I think as callers today have alluded to, one very specifically said, there's a glaring absence of our people to stand and speak out. We're not talking in any way other than a civil, responsible, respectful manner, but maybe part of that challenge isn't just there's a lack of support, but there is seemingly maybe a lack of timely information in the public domain. Can I just maybe ask your guidance with the greatest respect? For two reasons. One, it comes to my plate, and I do not have the information when I ask. Sometimes I get things unofficially. But two, maybe to encourage people to say, if you're not involved and engaged, informed, and being proactive, then you can't really point fingers, right? So take those barricades, if there's a better word, let me know, that have been erected on the roads there, as we talked about. How many of us knew that they were happening? Was there an application to formally put them there? Maybe they're lawfully placed there. If they're not lawfully placed there, can they be removed? And the people who put them there held accountable? But if we don't talk about it, nobody knows. I honestly confess that I don't drive that road very much these days. and I didn't know of them until after the lockdown started. So how long were they there?
Okay, I don't know exactly when they went up,
No,
but
sir.
it was. I think it was sometime toward the end of last year. But they don't hold me to that.
Yeah.
The people in government at ministerial level are aware of those things being there.
Okay.
The people at ministerial level are also aware that the 7 right-of-ways north of the Kimpton, vehicular right-of-ways, have been blocked off by DART, and some of that blocking off and fencing started when they had the Kabam thing. And, they're able to get away with it. Then their same court system, because they're not my court system, it's their court system. Their court system, and don't refer to it as a justice system, it's a legal system. And the legal system tells these ladies that have been gallantly fighting from the 1990s to secure right-of-ways. And the first time a problem with right-of-ways that we can trace goes back to the 60s. And if you go to the website, Cayman Beach Watch, you will see a timeline of some of the records there.
Yes, sir.
And the government is fighting against these ladies. These ladies are, all they're asking for is a law that goes back to 1832 for the registration. In 2001, Stephen Hall Jones confirmed in a letter that they have a right, an indefeasible right, and yet still, and even with that, the government kept that secret until 2012 because it didn't suit the agenda of the elected government.
But then, as I listened to you, I asked the question earlier. In the absence of accurate, timely information in the public domain, as people, even if they wanted to act, can't because they don't know.
Well, it's there. Go to Cayman Beach Watch and you can read what I'm telling you about.
No. I understand that. No, what you share with us, no. But take for instance, as an example, as an illustration, Webster's Estates between Walker's Road and is that South Church Street?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
No,
Okay.
you mean the
subdivision.
The blocking on
right?
the side of the road. You mean?
There's that. There's the proposal.
Between Melmac and Melmac
No.
Avenue and Memorial Boulevard. But
Right, there is that, right? But I'm referencing now the list of division Webster's between that has an entry on Walker's Road and entry on West Smith Park there in that area. That's South Church Street, right?
Come again. Where are you talking about?
Yeah, Webster's Estates, right? There's a proposal to put up gates to make that a gated community.
Where?
Right? Webster's Estates.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I was unaware of that. Oh, they'll do it. They'll do it.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. You're unaware of that, right? That road and that subdivision's been there since the 80s. People have moved through there. Not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying that people have moved, walking, riding, cutting through, going to school, coming from work,
Yeah.
trying to bypass traffic, whatever the reason is, right?
It's one of the secondary roads, without a doubt.
Right. On unfettered access through that subdivision for the longest of times, right? Now, when you gate it off, what does that do for traffic flow? What is the impetus for it? But little things.
If they do that one, why don't we put a gate on Melmac Avenue and Memorial Boulevard too?
Same thing, right?
Why not? Why
Yeah.
not? And you know what? Don't forget then on Thompson Way.
Well, an even better one because that's right in front of the school. Right.
I tell you, government, you see, I know they have a whole pile of acting positions, right? They never have seemed to have too many actors. They have more than they have down at the Harquail Theatre or up at Prospect. People acting. But
but Mr. Billy, the challenge will be I try not to join you, but the thing is that those of us that have friends or family who either live or work or are from in other parts of the Caribbean, just specifically,
Yeah.
they share with you little things, how the talk shows operated. They share with you how the populace, not in an uncivilized way necessarily, right? How the populace speaks very publicly and very, don't want to say forcefully, but certainly, very deliberately with respect to the things that unfold in the society that they don't necessarily approve of. Or we opt for another, and it's not working, and sadly,
In
I
your
hope.
mind, it's not working, Dwayne. It's working for the ones that control government.
Well, fair enough.
It's working for them.
Yeah, but
On
the
the backs
individuals
of
in this
slave
country.
labor that they bring in and
Okay.
displacing Caymanians, it's working for them. Why do you think they brought in these soldiers? For hurricane preparedness? Huh? You really believe that? When you had the likes of McLaren, Frederick, trained by one of the best, Mr. Kirkland Nixon, who understood from way back when, and then you have Daniel Coleman there, and they're going to bring these people from London with some Northern Ireland experience, of course. And you know what they do there? You join the real club after you've killed an IRA person in Northern Ireland. That's when you join the club in the British Army. And where are they sending our people to? Sandhurst College. That's where they train people to kill. But no, what the governor is telling us, we're doing this so that we can prepare for hurricane. You want to do something, work with the Red Cross. We already have the establishment. Work with a search team. That's what we need to do. And most Caymanians are sitting down dumb sheeple and accepting it because they buy them off. They control their mind and they buy them off for cheap. And people won't open their mouth, won't stand up against
Mr. Billy,
these things what's happening.
Yeah, as I listen to you, right, I'm inclined to share that a lot of the things that are either said publicly or that comes to the public for, uh, it's from people who are not necessarily ancestral Caymanians, right? They seem to be the ones that either are not only more aware, but are more courageous in saying, take for instance, the whole notion of the army that they come in, right, with the guns and the killing and the carrying on and the nonsense, right? These are, in the absence of you, sir, it's been the people who are from other jurisdictions initially who said, do you understand what a regiment means? Do you understand that this isn't just about this or that? Are you asking these questions? Not only of me. And honestly, many of us as Caymanians, we're trusting and we're naive and we're tolerant and we're accommodating and amenable and, docile and all those
No, we're
things. And
easily bought out.
is that what it is?
People,
Okay.
Caymanians have sold themselves for cheap. Yeah, give me a turkey at Christmas when the politicians run around and give out turkeys, or some districts they give out washing machines and refrigerators and all that kind of stuff.
Can I ask you, sir?
They're corrupt.
Right. Can I ask you? I think many of us see you as not only being very courageous, but being
No, I guess I'm kind of stupid because I'll speak out again.
but also not just respected, but respectful, right? But you speak it as it is. The policing, whether it's through the uniform ones that carry the guns, whether it's the new military and army that come in with the
Militarizing
guns.
Cayman, so yeah, let's
Yeah,
militarize it.
but with great respect, isn't that under the offices of the governor, sir? Not the elected politicians?
Sure. Yeah, but they acquiesce to it. It's our politicians that passed the bill. No, all 19 of them are to blame for it because they passed the law to establish this regiment, this army. They hide it by calling it a regiment. It's like what they did with permanent residents. Permanent residents was a way to fool the simple Caymanian public in thinking that those people that got permanent residence, because the alarm was how many people were getting Caymanian status. So they came up with this, what we're going to do is give them permanent residence so that people don't see that as being Caymanian status and displacing me. But that's what it does.
Yes, sir.
That's what
Yes,
it
sir.
does. And our people don't see it. They're
Yeah.
easily fooled. You know what
So,
song you should play is Boots, Gabby. You know Gabby, the one that did Beach?
yes, sir.
Beach is mine. You should play that song for him. Let him hear about Boots, Barbados, when he wrote
But
that song.
but Mr. Billy, again, right? Again, if you reference the beach, right? Um, I hope the gentleman that called me, I hope he is not offended. This is not to offend him at all. I understand why he did not want to call on air. I did say this to him, and I'm saying it now, right?
Give him
Okay,
my
he
number. Tell him call me.
um, if he's listening, I'm sure he knows you. If he isn't, I'll give it to him. But I'll say this to you as I said to him, right? He
Announce it
referenced.
now so he can hear. And anybody else who
Okay,
might find a
what's your
little
number,
bit
sir?
of, they have a little bit of backbone. 916-0707.
Okay, nine one
You
six
have
zero
any
seven
love
zero
for your
seven.
great grandchildren.
Yeah. So
Great
like
stuff.
the airplane 707. All right. Uh,
916-0707.
okay. So he said something. He referenced. I call it the West India Club, and maybe something else now, but that's what I call it, right? In the old Call Caymanian, there are some structures there, and then there's one where
You
old
know,
Riviera Acres
you
were.
know who owns all of that.
Yeah, yeah,
So it's
well,
an
yeah,
automatic
presumably,
approval.
right. But there's one south of that. I call it Old Riviera Acres by across from the gas station and Wendy's and them. Right, there's a property there. Right. On the water, presumably there is a fencing on the beach side. There's a fencing. There's a wall. There's a house. There's a wall. There's a fencing apparently out from the wall, just creating like a little sandy, private sandy area.
I haven't seen that.
Um, yeah, yeah, no, no, I apologize. I love the beach and I stayed to the north end, so I don't really necessarily see that. But he's saying, why are these things? And every day there's something new. So if you're seeing that, is it that you're afraid to say anything? Is it that you've grown weary of saying it because it's falling on deaf ears? Are you afraid that if you say it, you're going to,
Well,
run?
Dwayne,
I
they have this public lands commission.
hmm
The Concerned Citizens Group spoke about that. Went to visit the minister at the time and discussed the way it was written and the way it has functioned is exactly what we were saying. It was a deflection of responsibility, as they would say, to drag a red herring across the trail, to try and delay the registration of right-of-ways. And you take the down there by Alfresco, at the end of Mermali Road, that only corrected itself when citizens got involved.
Well,
and look at what happened on the beach when Kabu Kabam was going there, and fences started to be put up by the Kabu Kabam Dart and them. And when we went down there and spoke about it, then they shifted them back up to the vegetation line.
Yes, sir.
And all of these things happen. All of these things will happen. But it's another useless organization, pretty well as useless and the mal-regulation that goes on in pensions.
Well, listen. Let's talk about that again. And all right, got a caller, got a break, and
Yep, I'll hang up now. But I tell people,
yes,
get
sir.
involved. Get involved with whoever you want to get involved. Form a new group, do whatever. But for heaven's sake, have enough gumption and backbone to stand up. And don't let your people inherit like Jamaica. Had the same law that we have. In Jamaica today, there isn't one free beach that people can go to. Not one. You believe it can't happen here? Go back to bed. Sleep all day.
Well, hasn't it already happened? I mean, anyway,
It has
Mr.
happened
Billy.
in some, but at least we do have some that are still free.
Yes, sir.
Anyway, let them keep bringing more army people and arming Caymanians to kill us. Or now they're going to hire people from all over the place that will shoot at us. Well, who knows?
Who knows, huh?
Yeah.
We'll talk again about
God
that,
bless.
sir. All right. God bless. All right, let's take the last caller, I believe. Good afternoon. Thank you for sharing. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello.
Hi, good afternoon. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. I just thought I would call and say I'm aware that the Webster Estates is a private road. It is not government intervention in any way with any gates in that subdivision. I can assure you that. I don't know what the reason that came up for, because the other roads are actually public as far as I know that were mentioned.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you mentioned that one. And the comment in relation to that was that that is a road, the subdivision between two major roads that people have used, for, I guess, since the subdivision been in the last 30 or 40 years, right?
And that
And
has been the problem because traffic has come through there so fast. People down in there, especially with young children, even adults, have almost been hit by people flying through there.
And I guess the question
They've
is now,
installed speed bumps, and that didn't seem to stop it. So this was the only alternative, apparently, to try and prevent it from causing any major accident with anyone down in there and so on.
right? And I guess the question has been asked, and in cases where public has used something, has there become a prescriptive right? Is it what, like a beach access, 20 years uninterrupted use, like a pathway through certain lands? Is there then this right? That's how it has come up, all right? There are other
I know.
implications
I
to it
know
as
there's
well.
some limitation to being able to block a road. Yes, I don't know that
So
that affects this would fall in that category or not.
why wouldn't it? I mean, if a footpath through a property has become a public right of way because it's been used uninterrupted for, I think it's 20 years, would not a roadway, other things? Just a question I'm asking. I mean, and I guess where it's come up is that, like many things, things happen in a vacuum, unbeknownst to the public, and then after the fact, they go, "Oh, that happened." The absence of timely, accurate
I
information.
also agree that those beach accesses should not be blocked along the West Bay Beach, especially. That was that they were used by the public for year in year out. I'm sure,
Right.
and I
So
don't see how they could have been blocked.
yeah.
No.
Well, how is the difference then if two properties, let's just say two condos on let's use West Bay Beach, not even take north side of Barkas where there may be less people now, but let's say West Bay Road, condo A and condo B, side by side, there's a footpath there, and they put chairs, they grow the hedges, maybe the physical to block it in some other way, with a fence, a wall, a gate, what have you. How is that different in the case, as you referenced with the Websters, where subdivision between two major roads and people have gone through on their bicycle, on their footpath, on their cars. Not saying to give them right, not saying they should speed, not saying that they going to be mindful of putting other people's, but
I
there
I don't
versus
know. I don't know that the gates means that they wouldn't have access through it either, but at least it would mean some control that people couldn't just fly right in and out.
okay. So Red Bay Prospect, where there's a wonderful community there, lots of houses and stuff. Similar issues with traffic calming, people speeding, the allegations of they what you call speed bumps not helping. Why not put a gate there too? I mean, their safety is equally important.
Yeah, I'm not saying they. I just want to clarify though that that was not a public road. It was private property or is private property. It's a difference with
Really.
being able to close off a private property than a public one, of course.
It is something again. I guess the point is that so much happens here that you're seeing like kisses go by favors, and if you sit down and make people to get your eyes, next day you end up with nothing. I guess is to put it colloquially. When all of his acquiesce to too much. So we'll see where it takes us. Huh?
Okay, thank you anyway.
All right. Blessings to you, sir.
Right.
Thank you very
Thank you.
much. Huh?
Bye bye.
Okay. It's interesting because as we move, we're getting there. On if I may read this comment, I'm so grateful that we have wonderful people. Says you are correct in the law. Unless Webster's Estates has blocked off the road one day per year, it is now public domain. acquired land, the public now owns the land. Well, that is what I think I understood from another attorney. The point is, like, since Mr. Billy referenced, the point is, how much is it that's happening in our community? He referenced the tunnels, for instance. Are we sometimes misguided, misled, misinformed? Is it deliberate or inadvertent? Like the beach accesses, whether on West Bay Road or Barcus or East End or Camelback, Little Cayman, that may be unbeknownst to others. What is it, man? If you don't stand for something, you fall for anything they tell us. Mr. Fox, talk to me. Do we need to come back again for another shot, or we call it out for the day? Where do we take us as we invite you to be a part of it tomorrow? We're done for the day, you see. Listen, thank you very, very much. If nothing else, please continue to be informed and engaged. Be inspired to encourage others. Always be civil and respectful, but it doesn't mean if you hold your ground, that you got to bend over and take licks. But standing doesn't mean that you put up your dukes, as they say. It means that you're prepared to hold your own for the greater good and for the betterment of all. Please, as you go about, enjoy and always try to add positive value. And it's incredible that we are, so blessed. And despite sometimes, it's always, always a blessing. Final point here on that: the prescriptive rights, it says, takes precedence over the owner, which is the public domain land of the original developer. Listen, thank you all very, very much. God's willing, we'll be a part of tomorrow. Let's see what we can do to make it even better. Until then, be blessed.
Talk Today is brought to you by Fidelity Bank. For all your banking needs, visit fidelitygroup.com. Fidelity, we're good for you.
Also brought to you by greenturtle.ky. Take a ride on the Green Turtle Express today. Download the Green Turtle app. The future of mobile. Saving lives today.
Green Turtle, modern solutions to get you through the new normal. Download the Green Turtle app now and top up yours or a loved one's phone with any mobile carrier in any destination. Home delivery of laptops, tablets, phones, accessories, and iTunes and major online retailer gift cards. And now, home deliveries of groceries and courier service. Guaranteed delivery within 2 hours from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Visit their list of products at greenturtle.ky or download the Green Turtle app today. Green Turtle is not only the future of mobile, but today it can help save a life. Take a ride on the Green Turtle Express today. Download the Green Turtle app. The future of mobile, saving lives today.
It's not Toolfest at A.L. Thompson's, but it's almost as good. Toolfest has been an annual 2-day event since 2009, but because of current events, there will be no live demos. But that's okay, because what will be at Not Toolfest is the deepest discounts of the year on select hand tools and power tools for 3 weeks. Save big on tools by Makita, Milwaukee, Bosch, Skill, Dremel, and other power brands, and get 15% off all items in the tools department now through July 4th. Remember that Father's Day is June 21st, so give them a big boy toy from A.L. Thompson's during Not Toolfest.
Headlines. With the latest headlines. Headlines.
One of Cayman's bright and shining young stars, local, regional, international.
Headlines.
Turning to international news, updates on the hour between 7 a.m. and 6 p.m. on weekdays. All the news when you want it. Tune in to Radio Cayman for hourly headlines of the day's top stories.
Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio.
On your Yesteryear Music Hall, Saturday at 8 p.m. on Breeze Radio, tune in for a special Father's Day edition. Music in celebration of fathers, Saturday evening at 8 o'clock on Breeze Radio, 105.3 FM in Grand Cayman and 91.9 FM in Caymanbrack and Little Cayman. Your Yesteryear Music Hall.
These are the words within my father's song.
Your Yesteryear Music Hall, Father's Day edition, Saturday, 8 p.m. on Breeze Radio.